So, in terms of things you do professionally, what has been your biggest mistake?
Man, okay, I think it was in uni. Actually, I don't even want to start the list again, but I'm also into creative design
Okay.
because I can also design. So in uni, my second year, I got into this thing with a bunch of friends where we started this clothing line. It was called Gypsians. And in our school then, we were really like pioneers of the whole custom clothing line thing because everybody used to shop from the same shops. I schooled in Cyprus was
Okay.
like limited selection of where you could get stuff from. But
Yeah.
then one day, my friends and I were just brainstorming in the room with my friend Adam and John. They just said, "How far, guy? Let's." They were just like speedballing. They said, "We can do this thing. We'll just get sweatshirts from this place." And then we found one guy that could print for us. And then we had a friend who was a graphic designer at the time, Ata, who created a logo for us. And like we just brought everybody just brought like money for themselves out. And then like in a week, we already had like everybody had individual sweatshirts, and then we walked the streets of Cyprus, and people were like, I get ready, like, oh, I designed it, oh, it's my thing, oh, it's my thing, and then people really bought into the culture, and then it now became like this, there was like this explosion of creativity in Cyprus at that time, where like everybody just got into like clothing, like there were, I think after Egyptian, maybe 5 other clothing lines.
Yeah.
I remember that was Freak, that was my friend Josh, and I remember LB did one, but there were a lot, there was Music Gang, it was a lot of people. But the thing is that the competition never really stopped anybody from making their money because you like what you like.
Yeah.
And certain people go with certain people, so they buy stuff from this group of people, you
Yeah.
understand? But then my biggest mistake was, in fact, the fact that we didn't think of it from a business aspect.
Okay.
Like, as a group, I feel like what really made our run end, because we started off amazing. We even had a fashion show. We had like a full runway thing, rented a space, we got catering, we had like a list of people, guest list. It was a big thing, to be honest, and we were really proud of ourselves. But then after that, we just realized that okay, it's not just like it didn't make sense anymore to just create custom every time because you eat into our own profit because then we have to pay for transport, and then like making stuff in bulk is always cheaper because the guy who prints would have given us a discount, but then sometimes we now do okay, no, this guy asked for one, I just take his money and go, and then we wouldn't include stuff like transport money, so that would be from our pocket. So the biggest thing at that point was to think, if you are going to be a creative and you want to like turn it in for a profit, I feel like you should always remember that your talent is also a business. Not everybody has a business. Not everybody can manage their talents in a business way. So you might have to bring in someone else. What killed us was really mismanagement of funds. Because then when our losses became greater than our profits, there was no way for us to continue. Because even if we got new money for orders, how would we get to the place for the guys to print it? How would we buy the sweatshirts? And then at that time, I started really getting into the business sense of side of things. I was like thinking, okay, maybe we could go to the store, talk to the manager, maybe he could provide us with like bulk, like a certain amount of this color of sweatshirts, and we'll buy it at like a wholesale price.
Yeah.
And then print it at a wholesale price as well. But then there were so many heads involved at the time, everybody was cashing, and then
so like how many people?
We're like 5.
Oh, okay.
Like 5. And we're all still pretty young, to be honest. We're like maybe 17, max 18. So it was really just, youthful exuberance and just gra.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot by really not thinking it was a business and thinking, we could just do this. And but going back into it, I feel like after like going away from that for a time, in my final semester, I got obsessed with the fashion industry again, and I really learned 1 or 2 things, and I found out, you can actually do this. And now I'm actually going into it again with a friend of mine. It's something we're working on for maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully by God's grace to release. But yeah, my biggest mistake definitely was not understanding that just having talent is not what it's going to get you. Like, you have to.
I'm going to come back to you about fashion, but then Temi, I know you do shows. Like I know you go to KD for shows and all that. So what has it been like traveling for shows? Like I know, okay, so I think a lot of musicians don't really go, like when they say they're going on a tour, they go outside of Africa, like outside of Nigeria, sorry, for tours. So they don't necessarily go within Nigeria for tours. So what's it like when you go for a tour?
Okay, for a tour within Nigeria?
Yeah.
Okay. It's quite hard, because then we do not have platforms that like help make the shows pop. in other parts of Nigeria, aside Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, and maybe Port Harcourt. Reason because the reason why most of these artists like to go outside Nigeria is because we have Spotify, we have Apple Music. Now for Spotify gives you like statistics of people listening, streaming your music for a particular region. So maybe in Ghana, you have 5,000 listeners. When you have a show, you know, okay, I have this range of audience there. But they don't like give you that specifics for your Nigerian fan base. So they just tell you in Nigeria. You don't know where in Nigeria. But for me, I grew up in the northern part of Nigeria, so it will only be fair for me to like give them an experience of what should I say they produced in a sense, because northern Nigeria is really starved creative wise, because everybody feels it's a war zone. Let's not go there. So the likes of Kaduna, Kano, Jos. Well, thankfully, people like Emma still go to Jos for gigs and stuff. That's just like the only issue. So you have to like really do your own publicity yourself. There's no form of, how would I put it now? What word is it now? There's more of prior survey on knowing your audience. So you don't know what you're going there to meet.
So you have do you have a band?
Yeah, I do actually. But then I do not travel everywhere with all of them because it's quite capital intensive. I am a live performer. I'm not a fan of DJ track one basically. So that is also part of like the challenges we face as creatives because it's quite capital intensive. If I'm playing a show in Kaduna now and I have to like go with my band from Lagos, if I have to go with everybody and it's a lot of money because then you have to like pay for flights, pay for accommodation and stuff. So what I do basically is I go with my guitarist who most times we write most of the songs together. So I go with him and then we like get other band guys there. Because of his knowledge with the music thing, he's able to like just give them the score.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're having to say, oh, do this. We just have a sheet with the score of the music. We just hand it over to everybody and then in 2 days we're ready for a show, basically.
So what has been your biggest mistake?
I think my biggest mistake is not traveling without my guitarist too. There was that time I had a wedding at Port Harcourt and because I was quite desperate that time, I compromised with the amount they were going to pay, and I didn't want to share. I was being greedy because I needed the funds. So I told the guitarist to stay back in Lagos. And when I get to Port Harcourt, so I put on my Twitter, "Yo, you're a guitarist and you're in Port Harcourt. Link up." And then I linked up with one guy in Port Harcourt too. So what I did, I just met him on Twitter basically, and then by the time
I just saw you.
By the time we played the wedding, oh my God, even myself, I felt really bad. I had to like text my guitarist, "Yo, I love you, bro. Come watch me. We're in this together." No, it was really bad. I won't try that again. That was my biggest mistake.
So what's your playlist like? I know what your songs sound like, but then sometimes I realize that some artists, what the sounds they produce is not necessarily the same thing that they listen to. So what's a playlist like?
My playlist is weird. I listen to everything basically. I listen to everything. There's these people they call Zumutamata. They're like a local form of band from northern Nigeria as well. I think we'll have them in Kenya. They don't play the normal instruments we play. So they play things like there's this pottish kind of this foam to be like the sound is just really I listen to things like that. I still listen to people like Ebenezer Obi. I have him on my Apple Music. I listen to everything. I listen to the video. There's nothing I don't listen to.
So what's the genre of music?
The one I make?
Yes.
Okay, so I make soul, I make R&B, basically alternative music.
Okay.
Yeah, so I turn anything into alternative.
Okay. Well, I know you do like some gospel stuff. So do you think you're going to end up entering into like gospel or you're just going to be open and then you sing whatever you feel like?
The thing is, exactly. So the thing is, I'm in as much as I have a niche. I don't want to be restricted by, or I don't want them to basically dictate what I make to me. Fine, I respect their opinion, and I know that okay, they are the ones that basically buy my music and put food on my table. But then there is a God that has given me like the sanity to create.
Yeah.
If today I feel like talking about him, and I feel like I want to tell you about who's helped me create this, I could put it in an album.
Yeah.
I have an EP coming out, and I think there's a gospel-like song in it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just in Nigeria that people are basically biased. You could see Beyonce performing at the Grammys doing a gospel song. I mean, she could do a gospel song if she wanted to.
Yeah, like someone like Chance the Rapper, for example.
You know,
his coloring book album.
Exactly.
It's not a gospel album, but I know there are like 4 songs.
Gospels,
Inspiration.
like
I think
songs.
we could call them not necessarily gospel inspiration. I mean, it has one song, Kirk Franklin.
Exactly.
I know that there are a couple of artists that
Even Nicki Minaj, she
have.
has one song with
Yeah,
I know there's some artists that have like few gospel, so they don't necessarily sing gospel, but then they sing inspirational. Like I like
last Adekunle Gold's album. There's a song there titled "There Is a God." It's a gospel song. It featured what's this choir called? Lagos State Metropolitan Gospel Choir.
Ooh, okay.
Oh really?
Yeah, it featured them. It's in the album.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm not one who would say gospel.
You're going to like
nah, man.
just push yourself to one corner
No, fine. Let's keep it open.
So what inspires you to write? Some people like breakup inspires them, and then
It sounds
I'm not Adele, man. I'm not Adele.
I don't know person to like that.
Yeah.
so what inspires you?
Anything basically.
Are you the type of person that needs to go to one corner and then go and write, or you can write anywhere?
So I think it depends on the vibe. So there was a time I wasn't having the inspiration to write, and I felt really bad because I hate it when I feel like I have that block.
Yeah.
So all I needed to do that time was just get on a plane, and I went to Kaduna. On the plane to Kaduna, I wrote like 3 songs.
Wow.
And that's like short time, like
wow.
basically like an hour. I wrote 3 songs. But sometimes I'm inspired by nature, basically. So yeah, when I get on the plane, I'm basically just in the sky, and I feel this ease at that point. I'm not under any form of pressure. And then sometimes, heartbreak. Heartbreak because you really can't undermine the power of a woman. They inspire a lot. And in the times that we are now, women are like a major factor in pushing the market. So singing about them or talking about them in your art only helps your market.
Oh really? So when you sing about heartbreak, a lot of women just run for it, and then when you sing about love, a lot of women just why? How come men don't run for? Everybody experiences the same thing.
They do, but then the thing is, men somehow they have this hard guy thing, so they don't let their emotions show. But you see the ladies, like I put out a song titled "Beauty," was basically talking about how beautiful a woman is. I think that song has the most streamed song I've ever had. Just because I was talking about how beautiful like women.
So from your own perspective, do you think that's the best song you've
put out?
That's
not my best song.
So what's your best song?
My best song is "Oh My Baby." "Oh My Baby." I wrote "Oh My Baby" at that time, I think at 2016, because I had this babe that time. Like, we were so into each other, and I didn't even know we were going to break up. It didn't feel like we were going to break up because it actually felt real.
So did the breakup inspire another song?
No, the breakup did not inspire another song. I think it was after the breakup I had like this block. I couldn't write for a while. I was just numb, I was numb for a long time. I don't know.
Okay, so since you're talking, you spoke about nature.
Yeah.
What are like your, should I say, top 5 countries that you would travel to?
That
To actually know that you will, that like top 5 that you feel, okay, I'm going to travel. If I travel to these 5 places, like my writing skills are just going to be something
so
else.
first of all, I think Tanzania. There's a place in Tanzania called Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to visit Zanzibar. Okay, yeah, Kenya. Kenya is actually a good place to write. Then Ibiza, as in Spain. I think they have this wild lifestyle there.
Yeah.
I want to actually go there and
Let's experience it more.
and create something from there. Then Paris. Yeah, Paris. Then I think where else? Where else do I want to go to? I've been to Ghana, so yeah, Ghana. Let's see. I need one more place. Where?
Do you go to Italy?
No. No. Okay, yeah. So I think I want to go to Colombia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Colombia.
Interesting.
I see.
Colombia, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
So you spoke about fashion, and so how does fashion affect some of the things you do? Like, some people dress the way. So if you see like a techie guy, they dress in a certain way.
Yeah.
You will never ever see them wearing certain things.
Yeah.
Never, ever. So would you say everything you do kind of affects your dressing style?
I mean, yeah, because for example, you don't see an engineer wearing loafers to the side. He has to wear construction shoes, he has to wear overalls, he has to wear a helmet. So your profession most of the time determines your style to an extent. But I mean, in your personal life, like the way you dress is honestly just, I feel like it says a lot about your personality.
Yeah, true.
So people that express it through their style are not necessarily extroverted, but then you can't exactly say they're shy. Like when people see you, they see your body first before they see what's in your mind. Do you
Yeah,
understand
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like fashion is a big way to express yourselves. Because my personal sense of style, I would say it doesn't say a lot about me because it just depends on my mood. But then there are certain people that stick to this like 24/7. Like I know certain people wear trad every day.
Yeah.
Like come rain, sunshine, they are wearing trad. I know some people cannot put on shoes, they have to wear slides. I know some people like have maybe 74 Air Maxes in their closets, things like that. And that also to an extent says a lot about your personality because, for example, when I was doing research on the fashion industry, what really caught my attention was streetwear, especially like high-end streetwear like Supreme, Bape,
Yeah.
and things like that. Then I really got into it and I saw that this market is actually like there's a target market. Like the people you see wearing this have like I'll describe it as a market profile. Like if you see someone wearing Supreme, you could at least like maybe guess 2 things about them. And if you see someone wearing Supreme, you can know what else you can sell to the person. So it's that kind of
True.
trend.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
seeing you, I already know how to address you, like coming from a, like in a conversation about style.
Yeah.
So that, I feel like it says a lot about you because you know how, for example, you can wear all designer, but it doesn't mean you look good.
Yeah. Definitely.
Doesn't mean you look good. So then you also know how to talk to those people.
Yeah.
Because you know that okay, obviously you just have money.
Yeah. So you rap. What do you rap about?
I wouldn't say I rap.
But you know
Okay,
how
I
to
do
rap.
Yeah, I know how to rap. 'Cause
So what do you rap about?
the thing is,
Or what do you freestyle about? Anyone?
it really honestly depends on the beat. Because like it's vibes. Like for example, if I go on YouTube and I type McMill type beat, I will not rap about love and feelings.
Nah, man.
Nah. But if I go on YouTube and I type maybe Drake or X Bryson Tiller type beat, like there will be a vibe to it as well. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the beat, the vibe, and the headspace I'm in at that point, obviously.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, there are certain McMill beats, like when he tells stories, like for example, the beat for Tony's Story, it's like it has this bit of melancholy in it, where
Yeah.
it's like really slow. But there's still a lot of talk of violence, but then it's violence in the sense that it's tragic violence. Like this happened to someone I knew, like there was this altercation, people died. But then there's another type of McMill where he's like, I'll shoot people and people die. So it really just depends on the vibe where my headspace at that point in time. The beats
Yeah.
and
So
everything.
what type of song do you listen to then?
I would say I have one of the most eclectic tastes I've seen in a while. Because I listen to literally everything. Like I listen to country.
I noticed that like creative people, they listen to everything.
Creative people they really don't know how to even limit their own senses. I listen to country, I listen to jazz, I listen to rock, I listen to R&B, I listen to This morning, on the radio on my way to work, I was heavily bumping this fella song that was playing on the radio because my favorite instrument is the sax, and I could just, for example, now in my church, I can hear every instrument clearly, but then the second I hear the sax, I tune out everything. Like literally, there could be a war happening behind me. I wouldn't care. I'll be in the most serene headspace. So it's not that like, but then again, the type of music I listen to at that point also depends on. I have playlists that range from Afrobeat, rock, rap. I have a playlist that is just Drake. Not even just Drake, like a certain type of Drake, because there's emotional Drake, there's rap Drake, and then there's like Drake when it's just, this like do not disturb Drake. It's just it's not necessarily rapping, it's just saying stuff. But it all makes sense, and it's just like there's one particular person like that, so I'm like, oh my god, Drake is mad.